Hey guys, welcome back. Marius here, and today we have Phoenix Point news. And as you can see, we are right here, right now, under manufacturing. Why? Not because of the game, but because of developers. Let's see what they have prepared for us. We have new patch and full patch notes. The codename is Dunwich, released on 16th of January. So this is the second update, first update this year. And again, there is not a single news or anything in the Phoenix Point website. I don't know why and how, but anyways, there is a forum in Snapshot games. This is currently what you are looking at. The patch notes posted out there, and as well, of course, under Reddit, because these days apparently everyone works and posts everything in Reddit, and that's fine. So let's take a look. There's a lot to unpack, and I don't fully capture how I feel about this update, but one thing for sure, they definitely, what they did is I don't like it, because I'm in the middle of all the combos, and what they changed kind of changed also the value and abilities, and basically I need to redo what I've already done, but I'll finish that. That's my problem. So what we have, let's take a look. Blah blah blah, update, epic star, blah. Nothing that interesting, but here the interesting part is. So first thing they changed is rage burst. Reduce the 5 burst maximum with 50% accuracy penalty. I'm not reading the last part. Why they did that, no one fully fine. That's fine. But what it means, the guns will not fully unload the magazine, but now it's limited to 5 bursts, if I understand correctly. That's the interesting thing, because there are weapon types that shoot one projectile. That's, let's say, the same hell cannon and also the sniper rifle, right? One shot. And then there are burst rifles that shoot few, that kind of weird, interesting, so they will shoot 5 bursts. But the weapons who never shoot bursts, 5 bursts, so then assault rifle will shoot 5 bullets only, or that's 5 burst. Okay, anyhow, the limitation is there. That absolutely changes everything. Now what matters for rage burst will be always and all the time from now on damage per bullet, because we are limited in bursts. Now magazine size will not matter. There's actually a huge bonus if you think hardly enough, let's say, for rifles, for rage burst usage as hell cannon and sniper rifles. That doesn't change a lot, because when you do, let's say, best build in the game, that's my suggestions are always there. Everything will be killed already with those 5 shots. You don't need to worry about that. And the bonus what you get is you don't need to reload. Currently, whenever you do a rage burst, you need to calculate 1 reload afterwards because your magazine is empty. Here, if you get the weapon, and they didn't change that in weapons, there are huge magazines, so you can burst without that reload. I'd say that's a kind of win-win situation in some cases. Of course, some weapons are totally now out of the question. For example, all PDW and pistol bursts would be gone. Actually, this is one of the videos I was going to make. So yeah, not anymore. Mind control. Cost increased by 1 action point. So far it was like you can run all the time at the end, and then when you're out of action points you do the mind controls. Now not anymore, but what's interesting, they realized that mind control without any action point quest requirement was making ability too versatile and in some cases too powerful when used by Pandorans. I'm always putting that I in there. Anyways, the idea is, of course, it's also a limitation for your priests, of course. But in the same time, I was really pissed off when Sirens did that. They move full 4 action points, and at the end, like, okay, and you're mind controlled. Now it will not be possible. They need also, that's basically this limitation is applied to enemies as well. So that's even out. It limitation for you, for you. So it equals out. It doesn't make this life particularly harder. The rage burst, yeah, that's there are some weapons out of the question now. What's next? Mind crush. Cost increased by 1 action point. Basically the same idea. I overused it. That's basically this changes a little bit. Okay, kind of a lot of bit. Priest infiltrator build, where you run around and just mind crush everyone. Now you basically are limited. Yeah, either you run and use action points for positioning your priest, or just move a little bit less and then use your action power to be your action points to mind crush. To be honest, it makes only my infiltrator priest build, of course, less efficient, but in the same time you can do all the same things, just the limitations per turn, which means you need more turns to do exact same damage and kill the exact same enemies and exact same thing. Nothing else changes, it's just a little bit harder. A bit longer, actually, to be honest. And Mind Crush, I have never ever seen how enemy uses it. Probably never lets any disciple of Anno too close to me, but I feel like this Mind Crush nerf is more, well, your priests will be affected more, not enemies. Next point, Master Marksman. One of the abilities I always say don't use, so now here it is. Basically in patch notes they're saying that's bad ability. Accuracy bonus is reduced from 50 to 30, almost half of the bonus. And the problem, let me tell you where's the problem. The ability is too versatile, blah blah blah, so it needed to be tweaked downwards. They are not mentioning a single point, not even down in the patch notes, where they are fixing the bug where this marksman is not working even if there are corpses of enemy nearby. This is the ability where you need basically 10 tile radius around that soldier without any living scene, and also not a single corpse can be there, otherwise this ability is not working. Now when this ability is not giving 50% but only 30%, when this bug is still there, this is absolutely a void Master Marksman. It will not work, and when it will work, this bonus is too little. Just avoid it, okay? It's too expensive. I can't. So I can't with honest opinion say, yeah, that's a good ability, because it's not. When they fix the bug, then we will talk about this ability, if it's worth taking away again. Quick Aim. So this was interesting, kind of. Quick Aim no longer gives bonus accuracy. The ability is mainly used for the cost reduction, yes, and added accuracy bonus made it too good. The bonus I was not very so much depending, but yes, it makes sense. I'm also in all of my builds, I'm always taking abusement of this cost reduction. This additional aim was as a bonus. Thank you for that, but now it's taken away. It will be still used as in the same way for abusing and reducing action points cost. Okay, cool. Now the biggest part, dash, or sweet lovely dash. All my videos about combining assault with any other class basically changes a little bit, basically a little bit less efficient is. Cost for dash now is increased by 1 action point. So far you could run and dash in 1 turn. That's basically absolutely eliminating, not eliminating, but kind of limiting a little bit start of striker build. But striker build is actually not affected by this, because striker build relies on adrenaline rush, and there you are not using any dash anymore. But every other combo where you kind of relied on dash positioning, now you need to keep in mind 1 action point is reduced. And I will just give you the idea. Assault with sniper, where sniper could use snap ability and shoot twice. Now, if you dash, you shoot only once. The same for Boom Blast, heavy. Actually, for the same assault, where you could dash, and then shoot twice. Now it's dash. It was overused, to be honest. And okay, there is more. There is of course more, but they kind of explain where it doesn't change the thing. But okay. So now dash costs additional 1 action point, and the range of ability is increased from 50% to 75%, which basically means that the range you can run with dash now is 3 action points the distance, basically. That's how I translate it. And how they explain it is dash is one of the most abused abilities in the game because of its versatility. Versatility, yes, that's how you pronounce it. Let's roll with this. We don't want to reduce the fun factor of the ability or reduce its power, but we want to limit its situations in which it is used. Before the change, before this update, with 4 dashes, a character movement range was 100. Basically, the distance you could run, that's 100%. And then you could run also 4 times dash. Dash was half of your range, which in total is 300%. Sorry. And after the change, the idea is you are using all your action points so that you can't run by yourself, basically by running, but instead you can 4 times dash with an increased distance, which now gives you the same distance. So they are kind of giving this really stupid explanation that no, you can run the same time, that 4 times dash is the same as before. Hell no, because dash was the key where you could move a little bit, doesn't care how much, but you could fully use and utilize 4 action points by shooting, by putting turrets down, by healing, by anything. Here you are out the same distance, but you are out of your goddamn action points. That changes everything. Basically, dash loses its, I'd say, point. Anyhow, I will mention one thing. I don't care about their explanation and the silly way how they come up with the same 300% movement distance, because no one cares about movement distance if you are out of action points at the end. Not ever anyone was using 4 times dash and then using the rest of the points for moving. I don't know why they picked up this silly way to explain it. But the thing is, now in my mind, Vanish makes more and more utility usage because they cost the same. And I know. Vanish, you can move 5 tiles. It's a small radius, but that currently is the only ability where you can move a little bit, get that line of sight and not use any action point. That's the only thing. Dash currently is basically getting one of your action point gone. What's the point? I'm staying here. Then better shoot through the wall and use that action point by probably putting a hole in the wall and maybe hit the target and then shoot twice in the hole and kill the target. Then move and then shoot only once. It changes a lot. This dash is a lot. And the last 2 abilities they are changing is Induced Panic. Now it's increased from 3 willpower cost from 2 to 3 and 1 action point. Again, basically they're putting every ability that current so far was kind of cool because they were free from action points. Now everyone depends on action points. Thanks. Yeah, so basically priest is really nerfed down. The Induced Panic, the mind control, but mind crash, yeah, mind control. Oh, mind control, cost increased by 1, yeah, mind crash and mind control, both of them use action points. Basically, either you, well, it's for all the classes, either you move, either you shoot. Fine. And you can't use dash because that also uses action points. Alright, and the last one is Bloodlust. Bonus speed and damage is capped as 50%. So previously you could use double the damage. You could have double the damage from Bloodlust, from Berserker. Now there is one single over-empowered class that is still always will be Infiltrator, because there you have 100% damage without getting any damage. Okay, for the movement, still Bloodlust is kind of cool, but if you are still combining and comparing damages, then basically Bloodlust is a huge nerf, which makes Berserker already before was not one of my favorite classes, melee. She's okay. Anyhow, huge nerf. Weapons. So this is also funny. They have changed 3 weapons, and I'm like, what? You managed to nerf abilities didn't need it to nerf, because remember, vanish and stealth is still fully functional there. But from weapons, so PRCR. I'm not quite sure what that stands for, but as from description I understand these are armor piercing assault rifle and sniper rifles. I'm already reading this first out. So because damage reduced from 130, that's definitely Raven, yeah, and reduced damage by 10 points. Why? I don't know. Statistics shows that piercing weapons are overused because their power level was not in a pair with other weapons in same tech level. No, dear God, what the hell are you talking about? The game literally goes from unarmored to armored enemies. Literally. And there is a tech, I don't know why you keep using term tech tree, because there's never a tree. There is a bunch of tech being thrown at you because of some, there's no clarity of how tech tree is, so we have no levels of, you get the idea. And then even if there are trees in the same level, one of them are armor piercing and another one is not. And in the world where everyone has armor, it's kind of obvious that these weapons that pierce armor will be used against armor. It's, you know, kind of, what's the word? Oh, common sense. And now you are saying, oh, this was too powerful, you know, using armor piercing weapons against armor was too powerful, let's nerf it. I'm like, no, the other weapons were too weak because they did not a fucking thing against armor. And when you give armor to everyone, it's kind of logical they will be useless. I was reading that sentence like a few times. I'm like, what are they talking about? They literally make everyone wear more and more and more and more armor. And then like, oh, they are using armor piercing weapons. Huh. And yeah, even for assault rifle, damage increased from 30 to 40. Cool, I was like, yes. Burst reduced from 5 to 4. So give 10 and take one of the shots away, which literally is 5. 3 times 5, 150. 4 times 4. Well, basically, one of the reasons I hated there is this weakest weapon in the game, the worst weapon, the New Jericho guys are coming from. I don't remember the name, but it shoots 4 times. It's too little, and if one of those shots are missing, it's like, come on, it's absolutely the worst weapon. And now basically, yeah, our armor piercing rifle has the same values. It shoots a bit stronger, but one less. It's just pierce value is reduced from 20 to 10, and ammo capacity reduced from 40 to 30. 32? Let me just quickly calculate. Previously you could shoot 8 times, 40 divided by 5, 8 times, and then you need to reload. Now you shoot 4, 32 divided by 4 is the same 8. So that doesn't... How that? 32 divided by 4 is also 8, right? Right. Yes. So that's just adjusted to this burst amount. But losing armor value, imagine that. I'm speechless, because I'm now thinking, from all my playthrough, what was the time when every single one of them had 10 armor, and when it increased to 20 armor? 10 armor was kind of since the beginning. Okay, the arms was unarmed, armored and something like that, but 20 armor was kind of base of it. Now you will just reduce it. The weapon is just 10 by weaker by 10. It's simple as that. The bonus, because armor will, if enemy has 20 armor, you're losing 10 because of the armor, and then it takes away from the overall damage that was increased, so that's basically the same, but burst is reduced from 5. It's nerfed. It's basically the rifle, assault, and everyone who uses assault rifle is absolutely garbage. Boom, here you go. That's the quick summary. For the sniper rifle, they're not touching anything about armor piercing values, so just reducing by 10. It's kind of fine. Nerf a little bit, balance. Now, okay, we had every other weapon as a garbage. Now this weapon also will be garbage. Jesus Christ. And grenade launcher. Grenade launcher is a bonus, because every single time I mentioned how I liked playing around with grenade launcher, but you need accuracy, and they are giving accuracies increased. This change will reduce the frustration of players not hitting anything they want to. Yes, it was absolutely... it is crucial for grenade launcher to hit particular place, area, so the blast is exactly how you want, and affects as many as you know, the precision is kind of there. So now they increase, so now I will at least stop reading every single comment how grenade launcher is absolutely useless, because if accuracy is not there, it is kind of hard to handle, and any other weapon was better. Now hopefully this is a little bonus for grenade launcher that was already not favorites for other players. Alright, I'll try quickly to run through what's the rest, because these updates, I'm like, they're not even touching every single point. They're just handpicked, like, you get a nerf, everyone gets a nerf. I'm like, not even everyone, and there are just parts left unintended. I don't know. Pandorans. Mortar Chiron, reduced explosive power from 60 to 50. Okay, now they will shoot, and last time I checked, they are shooting 4 projectiles, so literally they are shooting from 240 to only 200 damage, which is absolutely enough to get your guy weapon destroyed, bleeding, ripped off parts, and it was kind of devastating. Reducing it by 10, it's like, I guess thanks, Sadie? It doesn't change a thing. Damage was reduced because on some maps, players weren't able to find cover fast enough. The maps were... How to explain? I'm speaking about the maps where there is indestructible landscape where you could hide kind of from the blast. The only thing that comes in my mind is not even citadels, it's layers, enemy bases where you can find a place where you can actually hide. Every other single map, you don't have cover over you, and once you have it, it is and will be destroyed, because that artillery is shooting quite devastating. That hiding is just temporary. It's for one turn. Now, I literally have currently a save game where there's 2 of them shooting this artillery, so hiding is not an option, and you can't hide. It's not like you were there, then you, I don't know, turned invisible and then run somewhere else and they still shooting the old place. The Chirons are all the time, every time, single time shooting where your guys are standing. Only way how to actually hide, because they are using specifically the term we're not able to find cover fast enough. There is no permanent cover, there is no cover, there is no such thing as cover. You can't hide. For Chirons, artillery Chirons, there's only one thing, and one thing only how you can avoid being destroyed is killing them first before they kill you. I have a map where my guys are standing somewhere, finding the cover. One of the Chirons are destroying absolutely all the covering roof, and the second one is just blasting my team to hell. And there's no time, and there's no cover, there's no... What are you talking? Have you even played your game? Let's move on. Spawnery. This is... I truly admit the next point I like. Hit points are nearly doubled. That was too easy to destroy in a lair mission. Yes, one guy, one assault, one-ish stealthy assault could run and single-handedly kill Spawnery. Now it will take 2 turns to do exact same thing, I guess. Okay, what the hell? These patch notes are getting better and better. Mutog? How you pronounce it? It's Mutog or Mutog? Recruitment. Cost of recruitment has been increased significantly. The previous cost was unintentionally low. No one is hiring them. Mutogs are absolutely useless piece of... And now when they are even more expensive, there's like absolutely... There's not even a chance I will look into some ridiculous builds with them, because they had no value proposition before. Now they're more expensive. Thanks? No. Human enemies generally have more stat points. I like this point as well. This is what I call balance, where there's a legit point, there's legit kinda all hands. I agree with this. Generally have more stat points because they were too easily to mind control. There's a bug. We still assume there's a bug for mind control, because you can mind control. Oh no, you could fear. Yeah, mind control, all good, all good. And killed with one shot. Yes, I don't know why, but human enemies are like just a walking piece of paper. It felt unnatural. That yes, I agree on that. So fighting against enemies will be something. Thank you for that. For giving challenge where it was not as good and actually improving. That is improvement. Making harder, but improvement in the game. Medical bay. Heal not only soldiers but also mutogs. If someone for some huge mistake has a mutog. For 4 hit points per hour, because previously before you had mutation lab, you couldn't heal your Mutog. So now it's kind of, because it's an organic thing, it heals on med base. Thanks. No one will have our Mutogs anyway, so thanks, I guess. Environmental destruction, floors and roofs can be partially destroyed by grenades now. To be honest, I was never ever using so much grenades, but I have used grenade launcher and missiles, and they could destroy roofs and floors in any ways all the time. I guess then it was just a grenade bug. Now it can be done. I am a huge fan of destroying and making entrances and openings where they shouldn't be, so yes, this is a cool thing. Basically, I think it's a fix, because if you couldn't before, then... Okay, cool. Major fixes. So this is... I will run through quickly, there's not much to comment here, but there are fixed of hangs where Mindfragger tries to mind control decoy, game could hang. Using flamethrower near edge of alien lair maps, game could hang, not anymore. Hang when skill use the sonic blast ability right after using mist launcher, that hang is also fixed. And also hang breaking the Artron's gun arm when the enemy was stepping out of the cover. Again, some specific situations which could lead to game hanging. And actually I was making a video yesterday and the game hanged and I was really angry because I was middle of filming. Thanks. That part is not, I think, here. The game can still hang in some situations. What else? Fixed an issue where the player's unit could be deployed between impossible cover in some Disciple of Anno maps. Issue where units will fall through stairs and die. Okay, that shouldn't be the case. You should receive fall damage but not die. Also fixed an issue where player soldiers could deploy in the Wall of Phoenix base mission. So basically wrong deployments, basically not taking into account there's some object or something, you sort of guy stuck and you can't move or anything. I had that some time ago. What else? Fix an issue where vehicles couldn't reach the evacuation zone in some maps. So again, maps are randomized and then evacuation zones are somewhere where there's some obstacles and your vehicle couldn't. And vehicle is kind of also referring to Mutogs, because they're also kind of the same huge part, taking 3 soldier spaces. There's no reason why anyone uses them, or vehicles for that matter. And there are fixed issue where environment was blocked in passage to the spawnery in alien lairs. Yes, I had those. There's just too much randomization and there's no connecting dots and you can't kind of access the base level of layers. Like, game randomizer, map randomizer, you should make a whale of that mission to win. Just saying. Alright, these are the major fixes that are applied, and there are 3 more points. Other fixes. Fixed an issue where vehicles had no collusion with some unbreakable pillars. I read this sentence, I'm literally reading it right now, and I have no clue what they're talking about. There are unbreakable pillars and basically objects where your car can't just go through and demolish. The car needs to go around it. And they fixed an issue where vehicle had no collision, which means what? When you drive something to indestructible object, your car will receive collision damage. I have no idea. If you have idea what they are fixing there, I'm all ears. Another fix is where they fixed the issue where enemy vehicles could be deployed on the roofs of buildings. So that leads to my question. So Mutogs need to have a jump ability to get on top on back on the ground level. So if cars were deployed vehicles on the roofs, they are stuck there. So it's kind of silly thing, but it's fixed. The cars should not be. Don't put your vehicles on the roofs, okay? Let's agree to that. Because Phoenix Point will not do that anymore. And fix an issue where enemy Pandorans could not move from their initial deployment in Alien Lair. Yes, that's basically the same randomized. I had this literally the thing where map is randomized and there's a spot where enemies are coming from the side, but there's nowhere to go. There's basically a little balcony and there's like 4 Tritons and Artrons just standing there like nowhere to move. So now kinda game takes in calculations those spots and they are linked to overall map so they can move around. So thanks for that. That actually layer map is one of the maps where this randomization was screwing over the gameplay in worst ways, I'd say. So now they're fixing that. And Dunwich will be deployed few days later in UVW, that's Universal Windows Platform, because there are some certificates required. Anyways, these are the patch notes. They are down in the description. Be my guest, comment all those, because I'm just me. I already expressed what I think about a few of these. Kind of silly, and I'll just mention. I think long video, but just quick mention for the weapons. They are updating 3 weapons, and then I'm like, they're literally PDWs, where in late game you're giving the weapon that is worst than older weapon. Like, how that gun is not getting any update or anything? I'm like, interesting. Anyways, the game is updated. Now we have new version with a lot more action points required for a lot of abilities, and apparently when you use armor piercing weapons against armor, that gives indication for developers to nerf that weapon. Yeah. Anyways, Marius here, thank you for watching. We will be back with renewed combo versions for all the classes, and we will meet then in those videos. Cheers.